back to my channel. Tonight I am in my kitchen once again, and I'm going to give a stab at making fruit leather, like fruit roll-ups. That's a brand name, but that kind of a thing. It's a wholesome fruit treat that I can do in my Pampered Chef Deluxe air fryer. I have a recipe, although I'm going to go off recipe a little bit because it's for straight strawberry, and I have strawberry banana. I bought frozen bag of like half slices of strawberries and bananas, and the directions on the recipe say to thaw them and drain them. So I have the fruit in this colander, and it has been thawing and draining in the fridge overnight, so it's already lost some of its moisture. So what I'm going to do, I did put wax paper on top. My hands are clean. I put wax paper on top to stop the air from getting at the fruit so much. But what I'm going to do is take this and put it in the blender, which is the next step. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I'm going to use my Pampered Chef digital kitchen scale. Okay, turn it on. It's in ounces, pounds, grams. Okay, so we put my blender on here and weigh that up, and then I press the tare button and it goes to 0. So what I add to this blender is what's going to be weighed. And so I'm going to put my fruit in here now. And it's just the thawed strawberries and banana. Bananas don't look so appetizing right now because of the color, but it's all going to get blended into one thing anyway. So there we go. And it measures 458 grams. Okay, that's how much fruit is in there. And I press tare again, and it'll, I should write that down, 458 grams. Just so I can put it in the description box below. 458 grams of fruit. Okay. And then to that, in the blender, you add some sweetener. I have liquid honey here, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of liquid honey. That's the purest source of sweetness that you can get, that is good for you still, right? It's not artificial sweetener. It's not refined white sugar. It is a natural product. So 2 tablespoons of honey. And there we go. And that is measuring out. It's still working. Takes forever to do this. Wow. Okay. There we go. Help it out a little bit. Don't have to wait for it. Okay, that's 40 grams of honey. There we go. So now we can shut this off, take it out of the picture. It's done its job. And we take our blender. And that's it, guys. It's just the 2 things, the fruit and the honey. And we put this on. Not to worry, I will silence this during processing, so uniform in texture now, so we'll go from there. What I'm I'm going to do to facilitate reaching this a little easier than down in here is I'm going to pour it into this glass bowl so I have it separated. There we go. It's all pureed. And it's a nice strawberry color. So the discoloration of the bananas wasn't such a bad thing. And they did have to be thawed, so there was no avoiding it. Okay. So here we go. That is kind of the consistency. Okay. Now what we do from here is we take the Pampered Chef Fruit Lether Trays. Deluxe air fryer fruit leather trays that are used in the Pampered Chef Deluxe air fryer alone. It doesn't work in other air fryers. Okay, so it's made exclusively for the one from Pampered Chef. And that's these. Okay, they're silicone with a wire frame. So the edges are sturdy and the membrane is all silicone. There's 8 trays, 8 rows per tray, and there's 3 trays in the set, like so. So you can make 24 at a shot per batch. And so what they suggest is putting 1 tablespoon per row. Now these have been cleaned once, like brand new, so you simply drop your tablespoon worth in there and try and keep it all in that slot, and then lay it all out. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this nicer. I have never made fruit leather before, guys, so if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? So there is 1. Now, gently coax it. You're trying to get it evenly spaced. It is silicone, so it should pop right out of there when it's done. And when it's done, it will no longer be tacky. So that's how you test it. See if it's done. The recipe for straight strawberry calls for 12 to 14 hours, okay, in the dehydrator mode. Okay, so they suggest you test it at the minimum, so 12 hours. And at 6 hours, halfway through, the air fryer will signal, so you can rotate the trays to get it more evenly dehydrated. And that's pretty much it. So I will be back when all the trays are full. When I've used this up, I hope I've got enough trays. I'll be right back and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I'm back. I have 3 trays prepared now, and the mixture I pureed was just enough to do 24 fruit leather strips. So here we go. I did find the trick to adding the fruit to the trays is to dump in 1 tablespoon of the puree per slot, just kind of down the middle, and then you take a knife and you gently work it into the corners, and use the silicone rows as a guide to level it. So it kind of worked out really well. Now what you're going to try and do is keep the edges clean so that they slide in and out of the air fryer properly. And I'm going to do this for 12 to 14 hours. 12 hours to start because it said check it at the minimum time. And for that we need to pull out the air fryer. I'm going to move the tray so I can open the door properly. And you pull it out, okay? Now, what we do is plug in the air fryer. The light comes on, and you put in the trays, one in the bottom, excuse me, one in the bottom slot, one in the middle. You don't need to worry because they don't sit very high. It's very flat. So, and the one in the top position. Okay? Now, close the door. Turn it to Dehydrate down here. It's preset to 4 hours at 1:30. So what you're going to do is press the middle button and rotate that to 12. And then we're going to change that to, I think 140 is a good drying temperature. And press the middle button again and it will start. And what it does is it heats it up and it starts the fan to convection, moves the dry air, the hot air. And that's what will dehydrate your fruit. You can use frozen fruit as I did, as long as you thaw it, drain it, and then puree it. You can use fresh fruit in season. That is going to modify your moisture content depending on when and how ripe it is, etc., etc. So you're going to have to judge that. I just used frozen just because I wanted to buy it and have it in the freezer. A lot of people have frozen fruit for smoothies, etc., so it's very accessible that way. But I'll see you in about 12 hours. I'll fire the camera up when these are done, and I'll let you know how long they took. And we'll go from there. So that's how easy it is. It was easy to puree. It was easy to load the trays. Took me about 5 or 10 minutes maybe for all 3 trays. And it looks delicious. And I can't wait to try them when they're done. So anyway, I'll be back when they're ready. Okay guys, we're back. And the fruit leathers are done. Took a total of 12 hours. I switched the racks around position-wise at the 7-hour mark. Simply because the ones on top were still a little tacky, so I left it the extra hour. And I swapped them around and put the ones that are more dried on the bottom and put the ones that were more tacky on the top, closer to the heating element. Now, these silicone trays are perfect. I've already tried rolling one up and it works perfectly. This is the kind of texture that it is. It's fruit leather. So anyway, how you do it with these trays, I've learned the knack. You push up underneath to get the edge to come up, and then you simply roll it. Roll it along the slot, and there we go. There's another one. Okay, now you need to keep these in an airtight container. Obviously the more dry they are, the less they'll be like a roll up and more like leather. There we go. And they come out fairly clean, okay? And I did not grease or do anything with these silicone trays, just simply put the puree in. So let's try one of these suckers. That is pretty good. That's strawberry banana flavor, and it comes out about that thin, which is cool. And it's a shorter roll up, so You can better proportion. It's not one of those big, long, foot-long jobbies, the 3 feet. So you can have as little or as much as you want. I think these are going to disappear fairly quickly because they're easy, handy on the go. I will leave the description in the box below, the recipe rather. And
they're good.
They're good, eh? Yeah. Okay, there you go, official tester. But I have now homemade fruit roll-ups, and the advantage is you know what's in them. And it's very simple ingredients. It's honey as a sweetener, which is good for you, and fresh or frozen fruit. So, good to go. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.